a little bit different than my normal videos. I'm gonna be doing a monthly reset today. I've never done this before. Well, I've done like a reset internally for myself off camera. I do them monthly, like for as long as I can remember, but I've never filmed it before. I think I did it for short form content one time, but like a very condensed, like very short version. And I love watching them, and I do this every month anyway, so I thought I would just create a video of my own. What you guys can expect for these types of videos, it's very laid back, very low key. I don't take this stuff overly seriously. I love to set goals. I think it's super important, but I also just like to talk about books I read, shows I watched, things I'm looking forward to next month, things that were like high points for me in the past month. Just be more intentional with life in general. I feel like that's kind of the goal of these. So that's what I'm trying to do. I have a little cup of tea here. I was gonna make a coffee, but it's like 5 p.m. I'll be bouncing off the walls until midnight if I do that. So got my coffee, I have my notebook, I have my laptop here. I use Notion to plan out my month, and maybe someday I'll do like a little walkthrough of like how I use Notion because I really swear by it. And then I also have my books that I read in June here, and then I also have my TBR list for July here, so I'll talk about that with you guys. I'm wearing sweatpants. Gatsby's right next to me. I would pick him up, but he's sleeping very soundly. He's like snuggled up, so I'm gonna let him sleep, but maybe he'll join me on the chair later. We'll see. So June was kind of a crazy month. We had a lot of social engagements, which I honestly love that for summer. I like to spend my summers just really like stepping out of my comfort zone socially, trying new things, meeting new people, and then in the fall and winter is when I kind of take a step back and like almost hibernate basically for like 3 to 4 months. So with that being said, some of my June goals were definitely more about getting out of my comfort zone. Another big focus for me for June was just getting back into a good workout routine. I was feeling very frustrated. I talked about this in a vlog previously, but I was feeling very frustrated with myself and just with like not feeling like I was in control of my routine. I felt like I was constantly playing catch up and like backpedaling or just like trying to keep up with things as opposed to like being in the driver's seat. And so I really tried to take control back in June over my routines, my workouts, like creating content, just all of it, my 9 to 5, everything. So that was also kind of a theme for June. So some of my high points of June, I want to do like a high point and low point of June. I think that would be kind of cool. So some of my high points, one of my highest points was my friends came to visit me. My friends from Austin, we all went to college together at Texas A&M, and when we graduated, they all moved to Austin, so they all live up there and I'm in Houston, so I don't get to see them very often and I miss them so much. And they came down to Houston to visit me for a weekend, and we went and we saw Drunk Shakespeare, which I would 1000% recommend going. It was so funny. It was such a good time. We loved it, and we got friendship bracelets. I'm wearing my permanent bracelet right now. Well, I wear it every day, obviously it's permanent. I'm obsessed with it, and we actually ended up getting them on National Best Friend Day, which we did not know was that day. We just happened to walk in that day. So that was just such a huge high point of the month for me. I just am really grateful for those friends. They are very, very special to me, and it was just such a high point getting to see them. And then another high point socially was I went to a book club this month with Abby's sister-in-law, my friend Abby Aslin, who's also on YouTube. She invited me to her sister-in-law's book club, and it was such a good time. Like I always feel like nervous and apprehensive going into social situations where I'm the new person. I think that's kind of a universal experience, but they were so inviting, so welcoming, and so funny. They were, honestly, it felt like my people. Like I was like, I feel like I've known these people my whole life. I cannot wait for the next book club. Like I'm genuinely looking forward to it. It's on my calendar. Another high point was going to a spin class by myself for the first time. This was one of my goals for June, was to go to a spin class by myself because like I said, I'm kind of introverted and I have really bad social anxiety that kind of developed in my adulthood. So going to like a workout class by myself is such a vulnerable thing for me because I feel like I'm out of my comfort zone, I'm out of my element. There are clearly people in this workout class that are like way more athletic than me, way better than me. They've been going for a while. This is like a routine for them, but for me, this is like something totally new. So it's just kind of something that's always been a challenge for me. And I like to challenge myself. It's something that I think can really help cure social anxiety, is just to continuously push yourself out of your comfort zone until it just becomes comfortable, if that makes sense. So I decided to sign up for a spin class, and it actually went so well. It's funny because I signed up for a Sunday spin class at like 11:30 a.m. thinking like, this is perfect. I don't have to wake up early. It's in the middle of the day. It's so easy. It's on a Sunday. I have no plans. And I got there and there was so much traffic on the way there that I pulled up at like 11:29. and I was like, I can't go in at 11:29, like 1 minute before class starts. Like they were probably about to start. I'm gonna be the person that goes in last, like have to find my bike. I don't know how the numbering works. It's just a new studio, I'd never been here before. Just so frustrated that I had gotten there late and that I couldn't go in. Like I was just so mad at myself. So as I'm sitting there, I was like, you know what, you missed this class, you're gonna sign up for a 5:45 a.m. class tomorrow. And I try not to use like punitive talk with myself, but it was time for some tough love, because I was like, girl, you gotta get there. Like it's time to like get out of the comfort zone. So it's more tough love, not necessarily punishment. But I signed up for a 5:45 spin class on Monday morning. I showed up, I walk in, and I was 15 minutes early. I find my bike, I get on it, I do the class. Like I said, I'd just been feeling so frustrated with myself for not showing up for myself when I said I was going to, and I showed up for myself that day. So that was like a major high point for me this month, and I ended up going to like 4 more spin classes this month, so I'm super excited about that. I also got really good at waking up early and sticking to my routine and my habits. I crushed this. I would say during the last like week or so of the month, I kind of fell off a little bit because we had Father's Day and we were out of town, and like things were just kind of like unhinged, like just kind of fell off the rails. But to come to the realization that like there really is no one size fits all, there's no black and white. This is what you have to do every single week in order to be fit, in order to be healthy, in order to be balanced. Like you can just make it work for you. And like that week, what was best for me and my mental health was to not work out and not put the pressure on myself. So I didn't. I just did whatever I wanted. I just like showed up to work, did some content creation, like that's all I needed to do. I didn't feel like I needed to work out in order to like have a good week, you know? So I'm really proud of myself too for that kind of mindset shift. So those were the high points. Low points, not many honestly, but one of them was, we did I forgot to mention this, but we did a no spend month this June. We really needed to do a no spend month. We have, and I'll talk about our financial goals like later on in the video, but we have some financial goals that we are like really behind on. And it's not for lack of trying, it's just that there have been things that have come up that we had to pay for and that were expensive and like we weren't expecting. So this month we decided to just do a no spend month, take a step back, just throw money into savings like it's our job. We actually deleted the DoorDash app off of our phones. We are suckers for DoorDash. We are like so notorious. It is our biggest weakness. Anyways, this month we were like, that's it with the DoorDash. We are cutting it off, like we're done. So we deleted it. We did not order DoorDash once the entire month, and I'm so proud of us for that. But we ended up having a bunch of expenses that were so expensive. I lost my AirPods, and I had to buy new AirPods because I can't live my life without headphones. Like, so I bought those. They were on sale, but it was still like $100. And then I also broke my camera lens, so I had to get a new camera lens. I was just very irresponsible and clumsy this month. I'm not really sure what that was about. And then we also, our ice maker in the freezer broke, so we got that fixed. That was $200. So it ended up being like $600 that we spent on various things that needed fixing or replacing. And so we kind of ended up evening out. Like it ended up not being much of a no spend month, but either way, I'm still proud of us for being really disciplined in our spending. And honestly, silver lining is that if we hadn't been as disciplined as we were, that $600 would have been an extra $600 on top of regular spending, and that would have really hurt us. But because we've been so good this month, it just really evened out. So it ended up being great. So that worked out. But I think we're gonna do kind of a minimal spend month in July as well. Or at least not like a no spend month, but just like low spend, and just kind of, I just don't want to go from like no spending to just like spending like crazy in July. Like I still want to take those same like low spend habits with me into July. So that's it for the highs and lows of June. And then for my June goals, I kind of touched on these a little bit, but June goals, the first one was to go to a spin class. I did that. I already told you guys about that. The next one was a low spend month, which I've already talked about. The other one was to read 2 books. This is a low number for me, but I knew that June was going to be really busy, so I only read 2 books this month, or like 2.5, I guess. The other one was morning workouts, like switching to morning workouts because I was doing evening workouts for a while and it just wasn't working for me anymore. It was eating up all of my evening, and I was like, okay, it's time to cut the shit basically and start waking up early. Like, you need to just wake up. You need to just, if you want that time in the evenings, you have to sacrifice some of your sleep time in the mornings. So I did that. I would definitely say I prioritized morning workouts. Another one was just prioritizing prepping in general, like, because I think that is what makes it so much easier to wake up in the morning, is if you pack at night, you make your meal prep, you pick out, I would even like, I'd lay out my outfit and everything, but I would even go as far as like picking out what podcasts I wanted to listen to on the drive to work, just so I'm not wasting time trying to find something. Like, I don't know, just making a playlist in advance, just having things like already laid out so that all I have to do is show up. It makes it so much easier. So I really try to focus on doing that. The other one, daily walks slash 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. I want to start incorporating that because it really, I just love going on walks. I feel like it's so good for my mental health. It's just the act of like getting up, getting dressed, getting out the door to go for a walk, because we don't live in an area that's really walkable. I have to like drive to a park to go walk. So it's kind of like an extra step and it's kind of annoying. So it makes it a little bit harder to be motivated to go do it. But I would say I did not meet that goal because I think I walked like 4 times all month. But I will definitely be pushing that into July because I would really like to focus on that. Another one was to go on to actually take my hour-long lunch breaks. If you watch my vlogs, you know I struggle with taking a lunch break, but I was so good about it in June. I think I worked through lunch only like twice, and every time I took an hour-long lunch break when I was in the office, I would go sit outside and read, and I would eat my lunch out on the patio and read my book for an hour. It was so nice. I feel like it breaks up the day. I feel like a new person afterward. I just feel fresher. It's just, I don't know why I wasn't doing that before, so I'm definitely gonna keep that going into July. Another one was to go for a run. One run. I used to be a runner in high school. I was in track in high school. I was not very good, but I was a distance runner, so I feel like I wasn't good, but I was still like running. Like I was really in shape. And I ordered a pair of sneakers. I think I unboxed them in a vlog recently, but I ordered a pair of running shoes because I didn't have one. I only have like athleisure sneakers, so I ordered a pair of shoes and I'm really excited to use them. I just haven't had a chance to go out for a run, and it's been so hot too. Like it is so hot. It's like 100 degrees, and even at like 6 a.m. it's so hot. So I did not achieve that one, but I really want to do that. Even just to do it one time, even if it's miserable and I don't want to do it again, I just want to do it once and say I did it and at least give it a try. So that's in my, definitely going into my July goals. Going on to my July goals, I want to do 1 spin class per week, because I actually have now fallen in love with spin class. I like really enjoy it, so I would like to do 1 a week if possible, if it works with my schedule, but that's kind of my goal. I read 3 books this month. I would have put 4, but we have a lot going on in July. Like we have so much going on. I think we're out of town 3 of the 4 weekends in July. So I didn't know if that was really realistic, but I don't know. It could end up being 4, but I'm gonna start with 3 and see where I go. I wanna have, like I said, a low-ish spend month. I think that would be really good. And then our biggest financial goal is to finish our emergency fund this month. We've been working on building up our emergency fund really since we bought this house. It's been really hard because I feel like we'll build it up, and then something will happen, like some big expense will happen that cuts us back. That's been a goal for a long time, but we just keep having setbacks. And I will say, like, our emergency fund is in a good place. Like we have probably 3 months of emergency expenses right now. We want to get it to like 6 months solid, where like if we were to both lose our jobs, we could survive, not just survive, but really just like live a similar lifestyle to what we live now. Obviously cutting back on a lot of things, but living a pretty decent lifestyle for about 6 months. We're very, 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 very close. So I think July, realistically, we'll be able to finally cross that off the list. And then after that, our focus after that is to do, and I'll talk about this a little bit more when I talk about our 2024 goals, but we want to start really being serious about sinking funds, because I think I know that will keep us from having to dip into any other savings. Like, and we want to have a sinking fund for gifts for people, because that is like something that kills us every year. Gifts for people, house projects or house repairs. We also would love to have some money just set aside for like car maintenance and car repairs. And then another one for, what is the other one? A travel fund. So those are the ones we want to do. So that's after we finish our emergency fund. That's going to be kind of our next plan of attack. And the next thing that I want to focus on in July is applying to management companies, like a talent management agency, because I'm at a point where I'm kind of like in a weird spot, because I am working my 9 to 5, but I also have seen a lot of growth on my social media in the past like year, to the point where I'm in a position to be getting brand deals and to like be able to reach out to brands, work with brands, have brands reach out to me, and it's great, and I am really happy and proud of that. But also I don't have the time, because of my 9 to 5, I don't have the time to put into reaching out and doing all the admin, contract negotiation, pitching, handling any inbound like deals that come in. I just am not in a position to be able to do that on my own. I'm just really spread thin right now. I do have the bandwidth to like create content. I just don't have the bandwidth to do all of that creating, editing, and also doing all the like back end administrative stuff. It's just a lot at this point. Like I don't know how much growth, like financial growth, I can see if I don't have the time to put into it. So that being said, I think a management company would really help on the back end with being able to get me more money consistently doing this, or at least just be able to like take the time to pitch to brands that I really want to work with, that I value a lot. So that's something that I think would be really helpful to me, and would really just unlock a whole new, like, I don't know, landscape for me as far as content creation. So I'm really hoping to apply to at least 3 this month, maybe more, but it's kind of hard to identify like legitimate ones because there's so many out there. Another one is to book 2 to 3 new brand deals. Really probably 2 would be realistic. I feel like it's been so dry in the brand deal world, so I would really love to like really aggressively pitch this month if I can. Another thing I want to do is research what it would look like to do a newsletter. I think a newsletter would be so fun. I had a website, and I recently, in March, the renewal came up for my domain registration, and it's like 200 bucks, and then it's also about $60 a month after that. And I just wasn't posting enough to it to justify that expense, and even when I was posting to it, the readership was not big enough to justify that expense, so I ended up just not renewing it. I may like bring it back because it's not like the website is gone. I'm just not paying for the domain anymore. So it's almost like I still have the car, but I don't have the parking space, if that makes sense. So I could always like reactivate it at any point, but for now I'm just gonna take a step back from that, and maybe I'll try out doing a newsletter that I could send out monthly or maybe even weekly, that just is kind of like a letter from me straight to your inbox that just is like, here are the recipes I'm making lately, here are the books I'm reading, like, I don't know, something like that. I want to like research it. I don't really have much information about it, which is why that's on my goal list, is just to research what it would look like. Would it be something that's worth my time? Would I enjoy it? Would my followers enjoy it? Stuff like that. Those are my July goals. That's that. So I'm not going to do a full like 2024 goal like deep dive because I just think that would be so much, but I will just say like a couple of things that, since we're at the 6-month point of the year, we're halfway through it, I took some time, and Alex and I took some time to sit down and just review our goals for the year and like where we're at and what we need to maybe adjust. So it's funny because one of the goals on here was to get a new car. That's not happening. There's no way. I don't even know if next year that's realistic. Maybe, I don't know. But for now, no. But both of our cars are paid off, and we're kind of just living life with no car payment, and it's kind of nice. So we're just gonna hang out there for a while. I put on here that I wanted to get a promotion at work. So my company is merging with another company, so there's just a big opportunity for growth there. I've been very, very vocal about wanting to try something new and wanting to like move up, and I've been very vocal about it. So I'm not gonna like jinx it, but I think it's very possible. I have an income goal on here for the year. Obviously I know what my salary is, but this is like my total income with brand deals and like with social media. I don't think I'm anywhere close to what I put on here. And that's okay. You know, it's been a slow summer and spring, but I did have a really nice, like the Q1 of the year was really nice for me. March was my first time meeting my corporate income. For the first time, I like matched what I made with my salary at work, so that was really cool. Put on here 50,000 followers on Instagram and 20,000 on TikTok. Honestly, I don't really, like, I put that on there because I felt like I should probably have some kind of goal in mind, but to be honest, I don't pay a lot of attention to the numbers. I probably should pay more attention, but I'm a pretty big believer, after doing this for like 7 years, I'm a pretty big believer that there's not much you can do like to appease the Instagram algorithm. I don't even think Instagram knows what the Instagram algorithm is. Let's focus on what I can control, which is putting out really good content at the times that seem to align with when my followers are online, and that's all I focus on. If that gives me growth, great. If it doesn't, at least I know that I did what I can control. Like, I just don't think Instagram, I don't think the algorithm is worth trying to keep up with, to be honest, because I don't even think Instagram knows what's going on with Instagram. But I'm around like 37,000 now on Instagram. So put on here 2 to 3 brand deals monthly. That did not happen in the past 2 months. I would say Q1 was, like I said, really good, so I did do that. Monthly brand reach out and pitching. I have not been doing that. That I need to be better at for sure. I have some like career goals on here, but they're like very much niche down to like my specific 9 to 5 that I work, and it wouldn't mean anything to you guys. So I'm just gonna skip over those. And then for health and wellness, I put go to therapy. I haven't been to therapy, you guys, and I really, your girl needs some therapy. Maybe I'll add that to my July goal, honestly. It's just that it's like an extra expense, you know? I'm not even gonna lie, that's the reason why I haven't gone. It's an extra expense and it's more time. It's just one other thing, and I know that that's not how I should view it. It's me taking time for myself. It's an investment in my mental health, but I'm having a hard time with that perspective. I'm having a hard time shifting it. I've always been very type A. I'm an Enneagram 3, very stubborn. I like to think that I can do everything by myself, and there's maybe a small voice in my head that's saying like, you don't need help, you can do it yourself. We can figure it out, but I can't figure it out. I need help. More time outside. I definitely have been better about that. It's just so hot right now, it's kind of hard. Nailing down my evening and morning routines, definitely have done that. Incorporating more supplements into my routine, I've been very good about that. I've been taking my magnesium, a multivitamin, the colostrum that I take, and electrolytes every day. Honestly, the thing that's been the biggest game changer for me is electrolytes. Don't sleep on electrolytes. Scheduled rot days. You guys, this is game changing. You need to start scheduling your rot days, like the days where you're doing nothing, or a self-care day, whatever, just schedule it. Take PTO if you need to, but like schedule it in advance. I try to do it like monthly I do a rot day, and then quarterly I take like a PTO day from work that's strictly just for me to rot. I don't take a monthly PTO day because that would be a lot of PTO, but I just do one a quarter where I just rot and I take the day off of work. And then financial goals, emergency fund, talked about that. I'd like to max out our Roth IRA this year. We're not really close to that right now, but you can contribute to your Roth IRA up until April. I believe it's April or March, or I think up till like tax day or something, but well into like Q1 of 2025. So I think that's probably when we'll do the most of our contributions, because December is usually a very lucrative month for us. Sticking to a monthly budget, we've been really good about that. Oh, keeping a wish list instead of impulse buying. Oh my God, game changing. I keep a wish list in my phone of things that I find online that I want to buy, and instead of just like impulse buying it, I put it in the wish list. If I'm not still thinking about it after like a week, I delete it from the wish list. I didn't need it. And that's been really great. My reading goal is 25 books, which is, again, like I feel like I could read a lot more than that, but like that's what, 2 books a month, 2.5 books a month or so. I feel like I could increase that, but I also don't want to do that because I haven't read, I think I've read like 5 books. No, that's not true. I've read more than 5 books this year. I've read a lot of books, actually. I need to see how many I've read. I need to keep up with like my reading. I need to get on Goodreads. I just have not done that. And that's pretty much it for 2024 goals. So that's kind of our 2024 check-in. Just like a quick little overview. Moving on to June favorites. I'm gonna do like kind of rapid fire for this, but first I want to talk about the books that I read. So first one I read was The Night of the Storm by Nishita Parekh. This one was okay. It was not my favorite, to be honest. I really don't like giving low reviews of books, but it just wasn't my favorite. It's a thriller. It takes place in Houston during Hurricane Harvey. It actually takes place in my hometown in Houston, like the suburb I grew up in. And I was like, of course I have to read this, like LO. But it just didn't really like grip me. Like the premise was there. The writing was really good. This is her debut novel. It just like something about it did not keep me engaged. And I also did not really love the main character. The protagonist was just not my favorite. She seemed kind of clueless to me. I don't know if that was supposed to be what she was like, but she just seemed kind of like aloof. Like there were things that were super obvious and I'm like, are you not catching on to this? Like, I don't know. So it kind of was frustrating to read that, but I feel like I liked her writing a lot, and I will probably be reading this author again if she comes out with another book because I really liked the writing. I just didn't love the story itself. The other book I read, I don't have a physical copy of it, it's on my Kindle, but it was Haunting Adeline by, I forget, something Carlton, I think, H.D. Carlton or something. I read that for the book club, and this is so funny because there's not much to say about it. It's very, 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 very spicy, okay? I mean, every other page is spicy. I don't even know what the plot was because it was just spice. It is like a dark romance. I don't really usually read dark romance. I guess the only other dark romance I've read is Manacled, like the Dramini romance, which is so good, by the way. It became my entire personality. Like, that book altered my brain chemistry. Like, I will never look at Draco Malfoy the same. Highly recommend. And so I was like, maybe I am in a dark romance, because I loved that book. It was a little bit too much spice for me. Not like, I love spice, but I like it when it also has a plot. And I just felt like the plot was not really giving. Like, it was just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of just in the background, and like the spice was just like the main event. But I did like it. Like, I think I liked it because I kept reading it, and I was honestly eating it up. Like, I was just flipping through that thing. But I don't know, like, it's kind of hard. I don't know what I would rate it. And I also am almost done with The Perfectionist's Guide to Losing Control. I am obsessed with this. If you are a perfectionist, or just like type A, like my Enneagram 3s, my Enneagram 1s, this is for you. This is just life-changing. It's not about not being a perfectionist anymore. It's about harnessing the power of being a perfectionist and not letting it hold you back, but instead letting it just like unlock this whole new level of potential. And I think that's really cool. This has been insanely good. I'm super, super close to the end, and I've been taking notes on it, and I've been highlighting. There are some chapters I've read 3 times because it's just so good. Like, it's just juicy. It's so good. It's really, really helped me. This is the first nonfiction book, I feel like, that has really stuck with me, like, where I will be living my day-to-day life and actively be thinking and remembering things that I read in here, and like remembering to like reframe my perspective and go easier on myself. And just, it's just so good. She gives really, really excellent like practical life tips for how to just like harness your perfectionism instead of like stifling it and being ashamed of it. And she also talks about like the different types of perfectionists, which is really cool just to see what kind you are, because then you can really like address it more. I don't know. It's just, this book is life-changing. Highly, highly recommend. I'm hoping to finish it in the next like 2 weeks or so. I usually read this in the morning with like a cup of coffee while I ice roll, and I just kind of sit there and have a little moment to myself and read like a chapter or a couple pages of this. And it's been the best way to start my morning. Okay, and then this one I'm currently reading. This is my current read, and I'm about halfway through it. It's Alex Michaelides. I think I'm saying that right, Michaelides. He's Greek, and this is his newest book called The Fury. I think it came out, when did this come out? Like pretty recently, I feel like. I immediately grabbed it because I loved his other 2 books. Silent Patient goes down as one of my favorite thrillers of all time. And then the other one I read was The Maidens, which I also really liked. I didn't like it as much as Silent Patient, but I really loved it. The twist was kind of crazy at the end. So, of course, I grabbed this one, and I also thought the cover was just so cool. Like, I think that's such a cool cover. So I'm halfway through it, eating it up. I love the narrator. He is so, I don't know how to even describe him. He's, like, cynical, and you know what he kind of reminds me of is Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye. Major throwback, I know, but that's what he reminds me of. He reminds me of Holden a little bit. Maybe just a little bit less edgy, but still the same kind of like sarcastic, like banter. Like, you feel like you're, as you're reading the book, you feel like you're sitting down with the narrator at a bar and he's telling you the story. And it's just, I love it. I'm very entertained by it. It's a murder mystery. It's really good. And the one we're reading for book club, I am awful. I can't remember the name, but I think I put it in my notes app. Let me see. Georgie All Along is what we're reading for book club. I'll read you guys this synopsis. So here's the premise. Longtime personal assistant Georgie Mulcahy has made a career out of putting others before herself. When an unexpected upheaval sends her away from her hectic job in LA and back to her hometown, Georgie must confront an uncomfortable truth. Her wants and needs have always been a disconcertingly blank page. But then Georgie comes across a forgotten artifact, a friend-fic diary she wrote as a teenager, filled with possibilities she once imagined. To an overwhelmed Georgie, the diary's simple, small-scale ideas are a lifeline, a guidebook for getting started on a new path. Georgie's plans hit a snag when she comes face-to-face with an unexpected roommate, Levi Fanning, one-time town troublemaker and current town hermit. But this quiet, grouchy man is more than just his reputation, and he offers to help Georgie with her quest. As the two make their way through her wish list, Georgia begins to realize that what she truly wants might not be in the pages of her diary after all, but right by her side, if only they could both find a way to let go of the past that hold them back. Okay, that sounds really cute. And I used to be an executive assistant, so I feel like I would really like this. I really do want to get into reading romance. I would like to read one of the like Every Summer After, or This Summer Will Be Different, or what is it? Summers, something summer. I don't know. I feel like they all say summer in them, or like beach in them. I'm like, are all romance books about beaches, or is there any like, are there any other settings? I don't know. I just like romance has never really been something that I gravitated toward. It's always felt a little bit like superficial to me, to be honest. I'm just a very dark person. I like to read dark things, and I don't know, maybe it just doesn't stimulate me enough. But that being said, I think watching Bridgerton this year honestly unlocked a whole new part of my soul. Like, now I crave romance. I'm like, I need more of like, you are the bane of my existence monologues, and I burn for you. Like, I'm like, give me that. So maybe I'm gonna enter my romance era. I keep talking about it, I just need to do it. It's just like getting blonde hair. I'm like, I'm gonna do it, and then it just takes forever, and then I finally do it. So I think I'm gonna do that this summer. I'm definitely a mood reader. I'm a seasonal reader. I love to read spooky things in the fall. I love to read more lighthearted things, like, you know, some lighthearted mysteries, like some thrillers that take place on a beach in the summer. So, I mean, that's what this is. This is like a murder that takes place on like an island in Greece. So it's perfect for summer. Here are songs on repeat according to Spotify. Okay, Dollhouse by Del Watergap. I've been loving that. Call Me Out by the Daydreamers, such a cute like summer song. I've really been liking that. Glitter and Honey by Del Watergap. I'm really just in my Del Watergap era right now. Obviously, Please Please Please, Sabrina Carpenter, come on, like, it's just, that's obvious. Oh, Look at That Woman by Role Model. That song just came out like a couple of days ago, I think, or maybe like a week ago, and it's so good. I hadn't really listened to Role Model before. I don't know why, because I really like their music. I think I've heard like some of their songs, like their popular songs, but this like got me to go to like their actual page and start listening to them, and I really like them. Handle on You by Parker McCollum. I wouldn't call myself like a giant country fan, but I like country music. I think it gives off just like, it's very nostalgic for me because I grew up listening to country, like 90s country when I was a kid, and then I went to A&M, which is like country music city basically, so it's just like kind of a nostalgic thing for me. So I like country music. It just makes me feel like I'm sitting on a beach, or like I'm drinking a beer like with friends. I don't know, I just like it. Halloween by Novo Amor is on my repeat every single month. I think it's one of my favorite songs. It's so good. I don't know that it would be for everybody, but for some reason, the first time I heard it, I was like, wait, this is so good, and now I listen to it all the time. I've also been really liking the new Gracie Abrams album. I wasn't a really big like Gracie Abrams fan up until now. I just really hadn't listened to much of her music, but I really like this new album, and I'm gonna go back and listen to some of her old stuff. So those are some of the songs and artists I've been having on my repeat recently. And then for TV shows and movies I've watched, the one that stands out the most to me is I watched the season 4 of True Detective. I never watched, I know it's not new, but I loved season 1 when it came out. I think it came out when I was in college, and I loved it. I don't even think I watched 2 and 3. I can't remember, but I saw season 4 and like a preview for it somewhere. Like I think I saw it on TikTok or something, and I was like, oh my god, I have to watch that, because it was like, takes place in Alaska during 2 weeks of night, and it's called like Night Country, and it just, the vibes were just so good. I had to watch it. I watched it all in one day, in one sitting. It was so good. It was very spooky. It's definitely not, it wouldn't be for you if you're not into like spooky kind of paranormal thriller stuff, but it was really good. I loved it. We also went and saw Inside Out 2 this past Friday actually, and it was so sweet. I love how I go from like True Detective, Night Country to Inside Out 2, but it was so cute. It was really good. I cried at the end because it was just so sweet. Oh yeah, Alex was in here with me. He just reminded me, we watched The Fall Guy together. We had a little like movie date night at home. We did like we put the air mattress out in the living room and we watched a movie. We had like a little movie night. We watched The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and, oh my gosh, what's her name? Emily Blunt. It was so cute. I was fully expecting it to be like stupid and cheesy, and there were some stupid parts, but I thought it was so good. I just love Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Like, I just love them both so much, so that was really good. I obviously watched Bridgerton season 3 part 2. I didn't love Bridgerton season 3, But I will say my opinion of it actually improved after watching part 2, and especially the ending. I know we didn't get the same like monologue of like I burn for you or like you're the bane of my existence, but I feel like Colin's monologue at the end was really good. Like I think he said something like, if my biggest achievement in this life is being married to a woman as amazing as you, then I am a successful man, or I'm a happy man, something like that. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really sweet, and I thought the season wrapped up really nicely, and I really like Colin and Penelope, so I thought it ended up being okay, but it still wasn't my favorite. Like it didn't become good for me. I wasn't super invested until those last like 2 episodes. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been watching, what I've been reading, what I've been listening to, what I've been up to in the month of June. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see in these videos, like if you want me to talk about other things like more like a budget focus, or if you like the favorites, or if you want all of it, or if you want to see more like maybe like a vlog style reset, or if you want to see, I don't know, like other favorites, like product favorites, I can do that, like product empties. I thought about incorporating that into this video, but again, I just didn't want it to be super long. But anyways, let me know if you guys liked this video, if you like this format. I think I'm going to start doing these every month for you guys. Like I said, I do these for myself anyways, like on a monthly basis. I just sit down and I go through all this stuff on my own anyway, so I'm like, I might as well just film it because I feel like people like to see this stuff for the most part. So anyways, yeah, let me know if you guys like this. Let me know if you have any feedback or anything else you want me to add or take out, or if you want me to talk less. I totally get it. And I'd also love to know what you guys have been watching and what you guys have been listening to. I would love some recommendations and what you've been reading. I need recommendations because I just constantly am consuming things. I'm constantly consuming shows, movies, books. Like I just love all of it. So send me your recommendations and let me know what you'd like to see in these videos. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'm gonna go, it's Sunday night, I'm gonna go finish this tea, make some dinner, sit on the couch, probably read The Fury, and just have a cozy little Sunday. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, and happy July.